virtual happy hours almost every month now. So hopefully you guys are familiar. You've been with me. Drink in hand. We are just in the learning mode. Hey, Kelly, you guys are great. I love this chat. Great. So this one is different. A lot of you guys have been asking for this because I've talked about e-design, I've talked about social media, we've talked about all sorts of things in the last few weeks. Cheers, cheers. I can see you guys. You're on it. All right. But this time around, we are going to talk about how to quit your day job and become a stager and designer, 8 steps to success. And let's go talk about who is this for. All right, you're in the right place if you're a new home stager. If you're thinking about the industry, if you're a real estate agent looking into getting into staging, if you're a veteran stager, a design enthusiast, color lover, you are absolutely in the right place. People always ask me that. Based on my background, am I in the right place? Basically, you're in the right place if you like to see rooms like this turn into rooms like this. Or rooms like this empty room turn into rooms like this. Now, you guys know that a lot of my people know that my sister is a home stager up in Santa Cruz, and she and I started our first staging business eons ago, but she's still doing it, so I always love to share her work. Anyway, okay, so what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about a lot of different things. This is a brand new. I spent a lot of time kind of working through this, kind of towards the last presentations I'm going to give this year. And we're going to talk about the importance of passions for entrepreneurs and practical planning steps for starting a staging and design business. No, you do not need the 4-year degree. A lot of people ask me that in the questionnaire. Self-assessments and how to really get personal so that you can create an ideal business foundation for yourself, how to structure areas of your business from phone orders to the design process to every aspect of it, how to innovate your business, find your niche, and use your creative geniuses, because I know you are all creative geniuses. And of course, I like to share a lot of inspirational stories, photos, people like you, all along the way. And if I give you a lot of great information, is it okay? You can put it in the chat room if I walk you through a little bit about my courses and some training specials that I'm opening them up. If that's okay, go ahead and hit yes in the chat room. Nobody missed out on anything. You guys are all good. You're in the right place. I got a lot of slides. I'm going to move really fast for you. And the good news is I am going to send you a replay, but as you can see from the chat room, the live is where it's at. It is so exciting to be in the live, and it's so much more fun. So you're in the right place. All right. So who am I? If you do not know who I am, my name is Audra Slinky, and I am president of the Home Staging Resource. I actually started the first online mixed media staging and design training company back in 2006. So to say that I've pretty much seen it all in this industry is an understatement. I'm one of the longest running home staging trainers. And, obviously I, like you, I had a staging business even before then. Before even getting into the training, I blog for the National Association of Realtors. I blog for my site. So if you're on my blog, you'll see all sorts of stories and great photos. I always like to share the work of the people that I work with. I've won some awards. I've shared the stage with Barbara Corcoran, Sabrina Soto, Vern Yip at recent conventions. But the thing that I really, really, really love is I have actually trained the most award-winning and successful home stagers in the industry the most. So that is the thing. That is what I live for. That is my mission, is training people who have a passion for design into creating a successful business, making money, doing what they love, helping other people. And I've been doing this for 15 years. And up until recently, I just realized this. The Real Estate Staging Association just released their top 100 most influential people in our industry. And did you know that over 25% of those people were my people? They went through my training first. So I'm really excited about that people who took my training are now influencing others in the industry. So it's pretty exciting. Now, if you see this logo, that is somebody who's gone through my HSR training that I started years ago. Since then, I actually launched a color training and an e-design training because they're like perfect add-ons to staging and redesign. And if you are one of my people, I get nervous every time I do these workshops. So a little shout out in the chat room. Thank you, Gloria, is always appreciated because it always just like warms my heart and it gets me kind of ready to go when I give these workshops. Thank you, guys. All right. So before I started training, I actually was just like you. I was a mom of these two little munchkins. So I always like to say, this is kind of like my story, and I wanted to do something that I love that aligned with my passions, and I'd always been passionate about design. The thing is, I have started two multi-million-dollar businesses for under $2,000 in my lifetime. So my first one actually was in the late 90s, and I would teach and train Fortune 500 companies on using this new technology called the internet on how to market themselves and research and do recruitment. And the thing about that business, though, is when I became a mom from that little guy, my heart wasn't really into it. And part of the reason why my heart wasn't into it is because I wasn't passionate about what I was doing. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit, because flash forward, here we are. Now, how many of you guys have kids that have facial hair now? Oh my gosh. How quickly does time fly, right? So kid in college, kid that's a senior in high school. And I guess I like to share that to say, so many times we have these interests and passions, and what would I have done if I never pursued it? And so here I am 15 years later and still doing what I love and running a business that I love. And it's because it aligns with that passion. And that passion is what motivates me. So let's get into the presentation and let's talk about you. You guys were great when you filled out the survey. I always like to share a little bit about the survey. You guys, you can see so many of you, not a stager, looking into the industry, some really great questions. And I always kind of try and align my workshop with your questions. And I will take questions at the end of the session. So please save your question. I do want to try and get to it, but a lot of questions on just how to get started, how to stay motivated, how to, market. And I love what this person says. I'll be like a sponge and soak up all the info, but a new sponge, not an old moldy one. Some of these things just crack me up. You guys are great. So, I should throw this out. Keep this interactive. Let's see if I can do this. I am going to throw out a survey to you. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to test out this system. I'm going to start this survey. Hopefully you guys see it. Do you guys see the survey? Okay, it's a poll that you can just vote on. So, you guys are in. You guys have figured it out. Okay. I like to keep it interactive. So it'll be curious because then I can see, according to the survey that you gave me, a lot of people looking into this industry, but I want to make sure that I'm really addressing it to the people that are actually here, my live people. So thank you guys. I can see the numbers here. Hopefully you can see them. About 38% looking into the industry, 22 new home stager, yay! Veterans, my 5%, 22%. My veterans are probably really busy. I know that. I'm going to share a lot of stories about it. A lot of design lovers, 22, 10% agents. I love it. Thank you guys. I'm going to end that, finish and close, and I'm going to go back to my screen share. Sorry, a lot of movements here. A lot of, there we go. You guys are seeing my screen share, right? I want to make sure. If you're seeing my screen share, you should be seeing this question on the screen. Yeah, okay. Honest question. I just had a birthday 2 days ago. I had a big milestone birthday last year, 50. Not super happy about that. And we're kind of coming into this new year. And with a birthday and a new year, I don't know about you, I always feel like it's a time for reflection, right? I'm always thinking about, does my day-to-day, is it fulfilling me? Am I being productive? Am I moving towards my mission, my dream with real momentum? How are you feeling? Go ahead in the chat room and put it. Are you moving towards your dreams in real momentum? Would you say you are? I'm just curious. Do you even know what those dreams are? You guys are great. Go ahead in the chat room. I'm just curious to see. I know we go through this a lot. No. Yes. Shelly's yes. Sterling, no. I feel like I need more momentum. Robin says, yeah. So it's mixed and it's hard. It's important that we take kind of a moment to actually think about that because, as you know, life goes by fast. And that also brings me to you. How many of you guys decorated your room when you were a kid? I love this photo of the Barbie house because I always wanted one of these when I was a kid. How many of you did that? Go ahead and put yes in the chat room if you did. If you love HGTV or looking at homes online. If you're passionate about design and staging and even just opening up realtor.com and looking at homes. That's what I do. I can waste hours doing that, looking at real estate. Did you know you can make money, doing design and staging? And that's the cool thing. That's the thing I love about this industry. So let's talk about the fuel for starting. I told you how to quit your day job, start a business, and there's really 8 steps. And those steps I'm going to align with passion because the passion is the fuel for your business. I told you my first business, it was good. It was successful, $1 million business. It just wasn't passionate about it. And when you're not passionate about it, it doesn't fuel you for years. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about these 8 steps in more details. I'm going to talk about how you do some planning, how you do some assessment, how you do a structure. I'm going to talk about how you get support, how you innovate your business, how you need to be open and transparent in your business, how you say no, and how you get started. Okay, so we have a lot to go through. You ready? Planning first. Let's do this. Steps to getting started. I always say you may want to have a phone on you to take a quick photo of the screen or screenshot if you're watching this on your phone or iPad. So business type. It's actually not that hard to start a business. A lot of people think they need to be hired by a stager or designer. You don't. If you have this talent, you can actually start a business doing it. And that's the thing I love about the staging business. Anyone can say they're a stager tomorrow. I have a passion for design. I'm going to start a staging business. I'm going to reserve my domain at GoDaddy. Pick my name. Most stagers and designers are LLC or sole proprietorship. You Google how to start an LLC. You create a website, but I've seen some people not even create a website, but you will probably want marketing materials. Obviously, business cards, super easy to create on canva.com. And we actually do websites for designers and stagers. I've never wanted that to hold people up really in this industry, but you can use Wix. There's so many great website designers out there. And you just need 3 key pages about us, your services, and your portfolio. So speaking of your portfolio, you got to organize your home. You got to have your desk. You got to do rooms. You got to really sweat over that portfolio. Redesign rooms in your own space. A lot of people ask, how do I get jobs without having a portfolio? Well, you do a room in your own home. You got to give people an idea of the way you work or a friend's house. And then think about your goals. Okay, what do you want 2022 to look like? Are you going to quit your day job or stay and slowly build? Most stagers stay and slowly build their business. So that's why I'm trying to encourage you about that. But you also have to understand the costs involved. So a lot of you had asked that in the question, so I'm going to go through those. The costs involved, obviously, ideally training. I'm going to say that, some guidance. But I know a lot of my new stagers probably are just kind of winging it on their own. How many of you in the chat room are new stager? I know that 22%, and you're just kind of going on your own, no training yet, just kind of going with it. Looking at Facebook groups, home staging groups, doing as much as you can. There's a price to marketing materials, not much though. Canva is cheap. And all you need to do is search up business card template, interior designer. There it is. Website and hosting. And you want your computer, your printer, and your cell phone. Notice I didn't mention inventory and things like that. I'm going to talk to you about that. You don't need to spend a lot on inventory unless you're going to go a specific direction in this business. So we're going to talk about the niches in just a bit. But the great thing about having your own business is the write-offs that you get, right? All of these things that you probably already own, computer, printer, cell, things that you buy that are inventory or staging. Great write-offs to your business. The thing that I love about this industry, another thing, it is one of the least expensive businesses you can start that you can actually make good money at. That's not a multi-level marketing thing, So people are making money doing staging and design, especially right now, because the industry is hot, hot, hot. Very hot. How many of my veteran stagers probably agree with me on this? Probably doing more design than even staging. Yeah, Tamara is like, yes, it's hot. Just this year, I shared, one of my members who joined me right after COVID, within 6 months, paid herself six figures, over six figures. Megan Bristol, and I love that. I shared a blog post. If you ever want to go deep into my blog posts, I teach a lot of cool stuff, and I like to share people's stories. I'm going to share a lot in this presentation. But what's super cool is I also shared kind of how she did it and 12 lessons learned on that post. But I share recent stuff. I just got this email from her last week. She won top 10 redesigner. Keep in mind, she's just in her second year of business. And I asked her, how's business? And she's like, is booming. Her entire spring is booked up and she's already booking summer requests for design, right? So wow, right? And that's the point. She's not actually alone. The industry is so hot that designers are 8 weeks booked out right now. So it's just a great time to get into this industry. A lot of people think there's a home building bubble. There's not, because we're 4 million homes behind in inventory. So staging kind of connected to the real estate market. There's a lot of room in there still. I think it's going to stay hot. It's going to continue to be hot, which is exciting. And even if it slows down, that's okay too. Mortgage, obviously mortgages are a low. That keeps staging really, really hot. The hot housing market is driving a lot of home fix-ups. That's one reason why a lot of my stagers are doing a lot of design and fix-ups, and even sellers just needing guidance on what to renovate. So these are just kind of all articles that I like to pull, and I've been saying this for quite a few years because it just keeps getting better and better for our industry. So many good options, good places to shop, good vendors to work with. People who have made money, as long as people are making money on their homes, getting equity, they want to improve their homes, right? And during COVID, we had to live in our homes. And so we're trying to fix them up. So renovation activity, according to House, is at a 6-year high. So if you think you've missed the boat in staging and design, I think there's always a few of you on the chat room who's like, I've been at your workshops for years and I just kind of, if that's you, go ahead and put, yes, that's me. You haven't missed the boat. It's hotter than ever. So I'm just going to I can scroll through these articles till kingdom come. That I'm going to keep going. People want high-end projects, which I love. People are spending more, which I love. So for some of you designers, might be time to raise your price. And then here's kind of the remodeling forecast through 2024. So if you're worried that it's going to go off a cliff, it's not. Such a good time to be in this industry. So there's a lot of noise, right? Starting a business, I'm not going to fool you, it's not easy, but it's not hard to be better than the competition. And I say that because anybody tomorrow can hang a shingle and say they're a stager, right? But not anybody is going to have the resources, tools, and the know-how and the structure to actually be better. And that's really what it takes. So staging is the only cost to the seller that makes them money. So that's why it's kind of an easy sell. Structure focus matters. As an entrepreneur, I told you passions matter. But it's much easier to start today than it was when I started staging. Nobody even knew what staging was. So the opportunity abounds. And more importantly, I always say, when people are struggling with their marketing, so if you're one of my interior designers on the line struggling, start with staging first. Staging has that easy target market. That's real estate realtors that are easy to find, easy to market to, and they're looking to work with stagers to help them sell their homes. All right. So step 2, that was just step 1, guys, of following your passions. You need to do that assessment. I walked you through that. That's number 1 was planning. Now that you know kind of what the market looks like, that's kind of your business market. You can see it's hot. Number 2 is assessment, personal and professional. It's time to do kind of that creative brainstorm. Now in the chat room, envision your perfect job if you could not fail. What would that look like? If you couldn't fail at all, what would be your perfect job? Would it be an event planner? Would it be a luxury home designer? Would it be a writer? Christine, I love it. Would it be there's just so much, a decorator, a chef? I love it. A holiday designer? I have a lot of people who do that too. I just shared in the last Best of the Best, one of my members, she actually designs college dorm rooms, model home college dorm rooms across the country, right? I love it. A teacher with no homework to grade. Angela, you're cracking me up. You're good. Thank you guys for being open. I love that. Gloria says she loves Christmas. She loves the idea of holiday design. Yeah, I do too. It's fun. So, okay. So it's time to kind of get real and personal. It's okay to dream a little, right? We're coming into another year, 2022. And you have to think about where you want to see yourself. And part of kind of creating that business story is having that relatable story. And the point is, whatever brought you to here, that is your story. That's why in this training, I told you my story, where I wasn't passionate about my first business. And having a business that I'm passionate about has actually motivated me to do more than I ever thought I could, to be honest. And staying in my lane, just focusing on me and doing the best I can to serve my clients. That's the relatable story. So you got to put that down on paper because, by the way, that's going to be your About Us page on your website. And then you got to think about what services you want to offer, that assessment, because you don't need to be all things to all people. But in the beginning, you're going to dip your toe in in a lot of things to see kind of what you love, to see what direction you want to take that creative talent that you have. What is your mission? And what are your strengths and weaknesses? Because when we can be really honest with our weaknesses, we'll know how well we'll do. Right away, I'll tell you my weakness. I'm a little bit of ADHD, so I'm terrible with numbers and bookkeeping. Right away, I outsourced that for my business. Like right away. I don't care how much that costed. I was not going to do that. So just speaking to the weaknesses. So here's a story I like to tell Liz Chapman. Liz was exactly where you were at a year ago in one of my workshops. And she had been on kind of quite a few of my workshops when she decided to pull the trigger in 2021 for her business. And one thing I do is I always interview people when they join my training, the staging and design training. It's an intensive training. Like I said, you don't need the 4-year degree in design. It's a 3-week training, and I'll tell you about it later. But I interview them to see, okay, what are your goals? What do you want to do? Where were you at? What's your story? And her story was she worked at a nonprofit agency. She always helped those families create, stage those temporary units for these families. And she helped them. She did classes at the community center, and she realized that she loved staging and design. That's why she joined my program to kind of start this on the side, which I love. And then flash to the bottom, her goals. She wanted to create a successful business, creating other avenues of revenue for her business. She wants to be the brown Joanna Gaines, which I love. She was cracking me up. And she wants to create a foundation to give back. How cool is that? She already knew right away her mission was helping people, giving back through her talents in design. How many of you can relate to that mission in the chat room? Go ahead and put yes. It's a pretty good one. One of the better ones that I've seen. We're going to get back to her story. Don't worry. But I want you to know having that mission, tapping in to what kind of inner motivation is key. So let's get to number 3 on your list. Hopefully you did your passions. We're writing it down. Structure. And let me tell you something. Structure is the key to confidence. I've been doing this a long time. I know what it takes to be confident. How many of you don't feel confident in design or starting a design business or starting any kind of business, so fear holds you back from doing what you love? And I know I'm going to probably get some yeses. Maureen says true. If that is you, put true. Or me, Levon, I love it. Here's the thing about confidence. I did tell you have to fake it a little bit till you make it. But in all honesty, when you have all of the resources and answers and a specific structure or process for everything you do in your business, from the services, every service that you offer, to the way you take a phone order, to the way you design a home, if you have that structure, even when you're shaking in your shoes, you can hold on to that structure, and that structure gives you confidence. And I always say this, you will appear credible, confident, professional, and believable. And I tell all of my members this, your client is never going to ask you, how long have you been staging? Because that's, I know, the biggest fear that everybody has when they start into this industry, because you appear credible, confident, all those great things. So I always tell people that you're going to have a sleepless night before you go off to that first consultation. We've all started a job, right? Every one of you in the chat room, night before any new job, it's nerve-wracking, right? So the night before any new client, it's nerve-wracking. But having a structure will give you confidence. So here's what I mean by that. In every service that I have in my training, I have this kind of phone order sheet. And it's basically making sure that you ask all the right questions. You might want to take a photo of that. So if you're a new stager and you don't have one of these, you're asking all the right questions about the home. And of course, I walk people through how they're going to ask, what they would say. In this case, I put it in red if it's a vacant home versus occupied, because that means we're going to ask different questions, the vacant questions. You see that? And if you were in my pricing workshop, you know going to the luxury level is exactly how we're going to price this home in a couple minutes. And I know if you ask all these questions and you have those answers, you can give an easy estimate. Another thing that I do, again, structure that breeds confidence in people once they're finished with the training, is I have 8 steps in each room is the design process. So do you have a design process or structure to what you do for your business? If you do, in the chat room, go ahead and put yes. And I tell people they don't have to use this, but the importance of having a structure. 8 steps in each room we're looking at so that buyers feel home. You see? So first step that you're doing when you're walking into that home with a client for staging, occupied staging, is we're actually just going to walk through the home and we're going to listen to the client give us what their first impressions are of the space. We're taking our first impressions. So we're in that listening mode. And then, of course, next 7 steps, we're tearing into the home, eliminating the clutter, looking at what we want to emphasize. We're looking at the light in the space, which is critical. And then we're going to talk about, okay, what kind of buyer wants to walk in and how can we appeal to it? And then modernizing, all these great things, but it's basically a structure to the process. I love it, Robin. Thank you. And why do I think that's important? Because it'll give you confidence, but also when the seller sees that you have a structure, or your design client, they can get confidence in you as well. You appear credible, confident. So put that structure in your business. However you may do it, that's important. That's what I've seen as another key to success for stagers and designers. They have that. And not only do they have the structure, they actually walk through people the structure on their website. It's very clever. All right, step 4. You can't be an island. You need support. And that's one of the big challenges. So when I've seen people not do as well in this industry, it's because they just think they're just going to do it alone. They're going to do it all themselves, and they just go it alone. And you just can't do that. You can't be an island. That's why I'm a huge proponent, a big supporter of the Real Estate Staging Association for our industry. That is the association for stagers. But a lot of designers, I told you, stagers start staging, they go into design. That's okay. So it's a mix of both, but it's really the best group of people in the world. We have conventions, and these are old photos because since COVID, we haven't done a convention together. But when we do, which I'm hoping we will soon, I hold a big party. And in a loft kind of room for a bunch of people. So we pre-party ahead. Home stagers are a pretty fun, crazy group of people, as you can see. And here's a bunch more on the stage. It's just a fun group, and it's a group of support. And Real Estate Staging Association is very helpful. So if you're new and you didn't even know about this, you're going to want to know about that association for our industry. And in my training, I also have a private Facebook group, and that's where I get all of my stories that I share with you on my workshops and things like this, called Stagers Connect. And in that, this literally just got posted. And I love this. I'm hoping this inspires you because like I said, I love to share these stories. But Kelly, this was 6 minutes ago, so I just grabbed this today. She wanted to share with her wonderful staging family. So talking about the support, the support from her staging family has helped her pursue what she wants to do. She's like, it has been a dream of mine to pursue a career in the real estate staging world. I was terrified to leave my job. She was a middle school teacher of 14 years. But as much as I love my students, it wasn't where my heart was. How many of you in the chat room could relate to her there? I love it. She's very honest. And she said, I patiently watched and learned from you all, this amazingly talented staging and real estate community. Audra made a huge impact on my decision. I'm incredibly happy that I did it. With so much encouragement and support from my husband, I became a licensed realtor, joined a brokerage, and just listed my first home. I have been working so hard, though it doesn't feel like work. My heart feels so full, and I am incredibly blessed that he has made this possible for me. Thank you for all the posting, your amazing encouragement. So basically, she's thanking our support group. How cool is that? but it's also what's helped her come a long way in her journey. So we celebrate with her. And that's the importance of having that support group, people that you can celebrate with. Going on to Facebook, especially if you're a new stager, look up home staging groups. There are some public ones. I keep mine private because I want it to be a very safe space, and I found that some of the public ones are not as safe, not as encouraging. So that's just me. So yeah, those are the things that we pull away, and then my heart is full that whole day reading about her story, her post. Yes, you do need to, Kathy says, connect with people like you. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about number 5, innovation, niches, growth, and solutions. And here's where I'm going to walk you through a lot of really cool ways people take their design talent and do some interesting things with it. Usually, when someone gets into the staging industry, they debate whether they want to be a occupied consultation-based stager or a vacant home stager. All right. So I'm going to ask you guys, what fits you? So if you're interested in the vacant staging, you usually have money to invest in inventory, right? But when you get that, I walk you through in my training, when you get that first big deposit for the job, that's shopping money right there too. And you can work with the furniture rental companies for the big stuff, and then you shop for the little stuff with that first check. So even if you're running lean, the leanest people I've seen still do vacant homes pretty easily. If you have flexibility and time, because vacant homes take a little bit longer. If you don't like the client part as much or dealing with people's stuff, and you like working with a clean slate, then maybe vacant is for you. So if that sounds like something you like, that's you, go ahead and put me. And I love to share, here's a photo of Leah Ward. She's one of my stagers. Right away she knew, she told me, Audra, and she has like 3 little kids, I'm going to do high-end luxury home vacant staging. And this is the kind of work she does. She just sent me this article. In September, there's the date. She was just featured on HGTV. How cool is that? The trending home staging tips for the luxury stager. I love to share people's successes, and you never know where it's going to take you. But that is her. So a lot of you said occupied. Here's the deal with occupied. If you have a little bit of monetary constraints or you want that time flexibility, kind of like me, when I first started, I liked the occupied staging. You're working with people, offering solutions. You like the challenge and creativity of working with people's items. And when I say it's more of a consulting business model, because it doesn't necessarily need to fall just into staging. For instance, this is a redesign job. I just shared one of our winners last month in my blog post, Melissa Ice. She did this redesign. So what does she do? She goes in for a consultation, then she's shopping for the client, and then she has a day of install, which is very similar to how I recommend you structure your staging days, right? So how do you make money on the consultation? A lot of people think you can't make money unless you do vacant homes. Well, that's not true. Here's just the math. I always have to show people. If you had 2 staging consultations, they average, $200 usually, 2 hours, $200 across the country, depending on where you are at across the country. So know your location. If you shopped a couple hours for that consult and you did a staging day and install and 1 color consultation, this is a 0 overhead business, basically. You're not spending on inventory or buying stuff. That's $1,600 a week or $83,000 a year you'd make for just 15 client hours a week. Add another day of redesign and you've hit the 6 figures mark. So it's a really nice business model. I know a lot of you are saying that sounds pretty good. Yeah, it's just relying on marketing and really getting yourself. So the keys to actually that kind of occupied, or I should say not occupied, consultation business success is you do want to broaden your services. They need to be the kind of services that you're in and you're out, and you need to upsell redesign, especially in your staging jobs. A lot of my stagers do not upsell redesign, and move and redesign is so hot right now. So start with staging, upsell redesign, or design plans. I walk you through e-design. A lot of people do that, and color consultations. In fact, my heart has always been in color. That was my second course that I created, is because color is a gateway. People are afraid of it. Color offers the most bang for your buck. And color trends, can we all agree, have changed drastically, right? There are so many options to choose from. So think about that. Think about focusing on a niche. Here's where I'm going to walk you through. I have more to go in my workshop, but I'm going to walk you through my specials right now, because I know a lot of times people wait for my specials. I'm going to throw it out there. Hold on. and this is an unusual one because it's kind of the end of the year. This might be the last workshop I do for the end of the year. I may not do another one. So if you were even on the fence, I'm actually giving $50 off every one of my training courses. So this little thing, hopefully you see this pop up. You use the coupon code DREAMBIG to get $50 off any full price course. Now, if you click on that get discount button, which I recommend you do, it's just going to open up another window. So you can think about it. You can look at those courses as I continue to talk through this workshop. I still have more to teach, but go ahead and click on that. I know I know you guys are waiting for this. It's the last time I'm going to probably do it this year. I don't know if I have the energy to do another workshop. I was thinking about taking the holidays off, but okay, let me tell you about my color training. It's RISA award winning. It's a 3-day online course. So it's kind of designed to be an add-on. The staging and redesign training is my big daddy. That's the thing that's going to give you that huge foundation, business foundation, confidence in staging and redesign. As with all my courses, I have a 72-hour, no questions asked guarantee. I really haven't had anyone disappointed. So I'm really grateful for that because, Amazon, usually there's always somebody, no matter how great the product is, that doesn't fit them. But since you see the way I train, that's why I do these workshops. If you like the way I train, then you're really going to love what's inside any one of my trainings. But my color course is a 3-day online 6 steps to picking the right color schemes. I kind of narrow it down for you, walk you through your consultation, giving you that structure, walking you through how to market your business, connect you with the vendor so you have the tools that you need, and step by step. And I even give you a cheat sheet. The cheat sheet's really the coolest thing because you use my 6 steps, you narrow down that color family, and then the cheat sheet kind of walks you through kind of best options, pick those options for the clients, and your clients are going to love you. Promise you that. So I love to share this story because I just got this little message from Patricia off her iPhone a couple months ago. She's like, "Hey, I just meant to tell you, Audra, I wanted to send you a big thank you. 4 years ago, I took your color consultant course. I just thought she listened to you guys. She was like, you guys want to do just consultation-based business, make a little money, part-time gig." And then she said since lockdown ended, her part-time gig has turned into a pretty lucrative career choice. She's making very good money. She's solidly booked, and she always hears the same thing from her clients. And guess what that is? "I can tell you absolutely love what you do." She's passionate about color. So if that's you're like Patricia, you're going to love that course. But I love that she says she got the confidence from the course and she loves what she does. And she just sent this to me on her iPhone, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay, Sylvia, you're so great. Okay, you guys are great. Okay, my staging course, really quickly, it's a little more intensive. Okay. But that's because I give you all the resources for starting a successful staging and design business, kind of your foundational. And in that course, I talk about a lot of week 1 is really staging. Week 2 is marketing and vacant staging. And week 3 is advanced, let's expand your business to Airbnb, holiday design, model home staging, organization, realtor partnerships, alternative income streams. This is where we really explore where you want to go with design. And so it's a lot, but the point is it's at your fingertips. So I got to share Robert. A lot of you guys know Robert. He's in my Stagers Connect group. Here he is. He actually opened up a studio for his staging and design business. Here he is last month doing a ribbon cutting with his parents. I love this. And he's Todd Ashton Design. He and his partner took their 2 favorite names and they started their business. And what I love about this, he just shared with me today in Facebook Messenger that because he got this press, he's in small town. This was yesterday, he put this post, he actually got this ton of business. So I know some of you said you love holiday design. So he took my holiday design is in my staging course, and he got a call to decorate a bank that has 9 branches. So he's decorating 9 banks for holiday design. Imagine it. He did a storyboard, he's doing blues and silvers, he's doing all the centerpieces, and he just, of course, asked my group, how do I do the bank teller thing? So it's really cool, right? So you never know where this business is going to take you. Things are taking off for him. I'm going to share more of his story as he shared it with me. From a rural standpoint, he's, it's just funny to see how once this business starts, you can't believe once you showcase your talent, how much more people will want to see of it. Remember Liz, I told you about her story, her mission to open up a foundation to really help people, to really get started. Well, she sent me this email you could see a couple weeks ago, thanking me for the courses, loving it, but telling me, oh my gosh, I need to take your e-design course because I already have 6 e-design clients from she already has 6 e-design clients. One is an Airbnb where she needs to do these e-design plans. How cool is that? So she's like, I need to start it because in my e-design course, I actually give you all of the 100 design templates that you can just slide into your account and then work off of as a base. So she did this. And then I said, oh my gosh, how did you get your 6 clients? So I've got a hot tip for you guys for my stagers and my veteran stagers. She got all of them off of Bark. Now, in my training, I give you a list of all these great directory sources that you definitely want to list your new staging and design business, even if you don't have a website. Listed on Angie's List, Bark, Thumbtack, House, all of these free resources. Now, Bark isn't necessarily free. It's free to list, but you have to pay if you want the lead that comes to you. Well, that's not super unreasonable. And Liz decided to take a chance. Well, guess what? She did that. She did a couple room plans, design plans, e-design plans, and one client now wants her to do a whole bunch more rooms. So now her business is just exploding. And I thought it was kind of cool because she said the designs were everything she wanted in her head but couldn't articulate. And that's really what design plans and e-design is. And I love it. She says, I came into this thinking I really wanted a staging career, but now I'm thinking I like e-design. It fits my lifestyle, and I'm taking this course too. And here's what I thought was the best part. I never thought I'd be doing design at 50 without a degree. How neat is that? Charlotte, you're going to love it. You do not need that 4-year degree in interior design. You do not need that degree. You need that passion. You need that talent. You're always going to be refining that talent. And you need that structure for success. And I had to throw this in because I literally just got an email from Bark today. A client wanted it. So a great resource. It's booming right now. Don't forget to do it. Look at her design boards. I have to share with you. Beautiful. And by the way, in my training, I show you how you can put trade product in here and make money on the product the clients buy off your board. Pretty cool. Another alternative income stream that my members are doing. So that's just a whole other training that I can show you. There's so many ways to make money in this industry. That's how Megan makes her money off of these design boards too. Aren't they cool? You can go ahead and say ooh and ah. Yeah. All right. So I know I'm sharing. Oh, here she is. She's already got her 22. This is her on Thumbtack, so I had to share again. I thought it was really cool. So she did a good listing. And guess what she did in the introduction of her listing? She put her mission. I've always loved interior design, combining my passion and my love of helping people. So she's being true to her mission. And when you're true to your passion, you're true to your mission, guess what happens? Good things. So that leads me to the next hot tip. You have to be true to yourself. You have to be open and transparently, gorgeously you. And guess what's so awesome about this? We're not all the same. So a designer that will fit for one person may not be your person. And that's why I always say you have to be true to you. I do my virtual happy hours. I'm true to I love, my wine. And here I am. I do my Facebook ads. My Facebook ad girl's like, your wine photos are the ones that your people love. And that's my people, but I'm being true to me. You got to put yourself out there. It actually took me many years before I realized this. I hid behind kind of the corporate environment of home staging resource. And I didn't put my face or my brand out there. I was too afraid. I don't really want to do that, but you got to do it. You got to be okay with it. Put the fear aside. You have been training yourself on design and the elements of great design since you were a kid. So many of you already told me that, right? So trust in that law of attraction. Trust that you're going to connect with the right person. That'll be your people. Trust in your gut instinct about the space. Listen well, set those clear expectations, have that structure, like I say, and say no to what you're not ready for, but know that you can do this. You can, because you've been training yourself since you were a kid. Most all of you told me that. How many businesses or fields can you say that you're that experienced in? All right, we're getting near the end. The next one, step 7, is you really do want to know when to say no. That's one thing, that mistake I see people make. is not necessarily saying no to that gut instinct. So what do I mean by that? It's kind of the 80-20 rule. And in the staging realm, I actually find that it's about 90-10%. Not even 10% of your clients are going to cause you 90% of your stress and headache. And this is really true for life. This is kind of the Pareto principle. I think you guys may know it. So if you could say no to that 10%, guess what? You're saying no to that 90% of stress and headache, because that person's not your person, right? So I try and do that, sometimes even in the beginning when somebody, I could tell it's just not a fit, or they're just not ready for this, just not timing is wrong. So know what you can and cannot take on, but be brave. I've had people empty out their own home to take on that first vacant home. They empty out all of the furnishings in their own home and move it into the vacant home. And guess what? Their business takes off. So don't worry, you can be brave. But watch out for the people who are not giving you the whole story, right? Or the full information. There's a lot of scams out there, even on a house, so don't. That's why I have that order form, right? Have a complete order form. If they question your process or your rates, if they can't spare you the time, I have that order form, and I know agents are always in a hurry and they may not want to spend 10 minutes talking with you on the phone. But if they don't, and if they can't, that may not be your person. So I use that order form. I tell my clients, the reason why you're using this order form is you're weeding out the people that if they're not going to take 10 minutes on the phone with you talking about the job that they have, then they're really not going to help you finish that job. All right. I love it. Steph says wonderful advice. So my veterans tell me this. So trying to recognize where that is. And if this is my personal, if they're just negative, aggressive, arrogant, or whiny, that's just, I know, not a fit for me. But, and if they have unreasonable time frame and expectations, right now it is important to set those expectations, set those timelines, and be just honest. It's okay. People respect honesty and transparency now more than any other time. That's why, going back to the last step, always being you, being openly transparent, you. And finally, for most of you, I know that 8th step is you just need to start by starting, right? You've been hovering over this idea for years, or maybe you're a new stager and you just don't really know where to focus. You just need to start by starting, okay? I always say you have to nourish to flourish. So even if your timing is wrong and you're not ready to start a business doing this, for my design lovers and my color lovers, creativity is like a muscle. Guess what happens when you use it? Oh, you get stronger. That muscle gets stronger and stronger. So if you if you don't go through my program, or if the time's not right, I'd love for you to join me in any one of my courses. Like I said, this discount Dream Big coupon code, you could save $150 on all 3 of my courses. But if nothing else, walk away from this inspired by the people who have changed their lives, are doing great things, doing what they love, but just redo a room in your own home. Get organized. I just did my office again because I have a tendency that thing tends to get messed up, because I know we all have this compass inside, but just not a map to tell us what direction to go. Staging industry is the best place to start. So a lot of people think they want to start with the design. Don't start with staging. It'll turn into design if that's really what is meant. Staging is the easiest place to start, and I will give you the map. So what's that map look like? I know you guys have questions. It's A to Z. I walked you through kind of those 3 weeks, giving you all the support you need. My support group is bar none. The reason why I'm online and not in-person classroom is because I think it's critical that you refer back to it. You take a classroom, you get your first client 2 months later, and you don't remember what was said in the classroom. So the classroom's online like this, and you can always go back to it, which I think is important. I have people who have been with me for 15 years. They're still referring back to the training. In fact, if that's you, go ahead. Yeah, you guys are great. And you get a hard copy manual. I give you a manual because I do like touching things. So we actually mail you a manual so that you're not printing too much. Because I know I've been training at, I used to train companies, Fortune 500 companies. When you touch, you see, you hear, that's when you learn. I love it. Robin's always referring back to her manual. Yeah. Ann Tristani, I love her story because she kind of said, "Thank you, Audra." This was a couple years ago, but it still kind of rings true for covering every aspect of starting a new business. I went into this training nervous, confused, with a very blurred idea of what home staging is. Does that sound like any of you? Yeah. Now, just by following the detailed steps of the training, I have a full company that I am, all caps, confident about, and I'm so excited and ready to make homes beautiful. I was happy to discover that not only does Audra cover home staging, but she also provides more business ideas for you to get involved and make extra money. This industry is full of opportunity once you jump in. That's what I always try and tell you guys. I feel like I chiseled off the first 2 years of trial and error for my startup business, and I no longer see any room for failure. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Trust the process, people. This gal knows what she's doing. But what I love about her story, because she gave me this, I think it was about a year and a half ago or two, is very quickly her her design business took off, so much so that by trusting her instincts, guess who joined her business? Her husband and her daughter. They all work together now, and they have been in her design business. How adorable are they, by the way? So I love that story because you just never know where that one decision will take you, you know? And she made it. She didn't even know what home staging was, and she just, you know, decided to trust the process. You can see it is a process. It is one, but it's at your own pace. I give you all of the forms, all of the guides. These are forms in Canva, so you could just print you change the color, add your logo. You completely can edit to your heart's desire. I give you all the price sheets, the contracts, the guides, the inventory guides, the walkthrough guides, the order sheets, the checklists, because I'm a checklist girl. Oh my goodness, it's it's a lot of stuff. I give you everything so it's downloadable and go. That's one thing I don't really tell people even on the front, but the time you save just by all of this stuff so that you have it um, is a huge time saver. Because confidence comes from knowledge. It really does. The more you know, right? So investing in your learning will inevitably lead to more confidence. Here's just some testimonials. Because I'm almost, you skip through, but I love it. Lindsay says that she spent hours before this program, hundreds of hours trying to find free information. And I sympathize with Lindsay because I kind of did the same thing, but there was really no training when I started. So I kind of had to do it. And then she joined the training and everything was a lot easier for her. Sharon, she's an agent. I know some of you said you were agents. As a realtor, she entered the course in the hopes of adding value to her real estate business, but just getting through the first weeks of material, she was able to apply what she learned, because I have a lot of design how-to guys, to 4 new listings, and they all sold like that. So she's not just staging her own listings and charging for making extra money on the staging, but also staging other agents' listings. I have a lot of that. And then even to recently, I just got this testimonial from Refined Stage and Design. I kind of loved it. She said, "Thank you, Audra, for giving me the confidence I needed to start my home staging business. For years, family and friends have told me I should get into staging and organizing, but I never had the confidence to go ahead with it until taking your course. It took me a year to complete, but I have to say I'm fortunate, because the moment she started and getting all those ducks in a row, she was already busy." And guys, that's usually what happens. That's why when you start my course, you go straight into my directory and I tell you, get that business listed. You have the talent. Just start going in and doing it. So I love it. She said she was already busy. And when she says finish, all the marketing and the advance, a lot of people skip through the marketing because if they're busy, which I love. That's the whole point, right? So if you liked this hour, imagine 3 weeks with me. It's going to be a lot of fun, because the one thing I always know, I can promise you, is the only thing I hear is that people wish they started this earlier. That's really true. And I've told you the timing's good. There's so much resources. I'm so excited where this industry is going. I share a lot of that excitement and how to in my training. But I always say, if you give me your passion in 30 days and it's discounted at $950, I will show you how to create a successful business doing what you love. I love it. Julie, you're so sweet. Thank you. Julie actually did my social media product and my website, so everything was done for her. Yes. My whole goal is that you're never reinventing. And I should mention that my offer is expiring Friday at midnight. And like I said, this is probably the best time. I have a lot of people who say that $50, that was what it was to make them pull the trigger and chase their dreams. I say go for it. Um, Good. Any questions? You guys are great. Any questions on the trainings, the courses, the discount? Where do you get your staging items? Oh my gosh. Clara, I have a whole list of resources and vendors of where you get your items, where you can shop. I even have a design board that has like for a living room setup that you can just go buy, Amazon Prime. Because that way you know you'll get it there in time. There's a lot of choices, but I also have vendors that you get 50% off wholesale because now welcome to the design world. Those vendors love stagers. They roll the red carpet out for you. So you actually can do shopping for clients. And I have another vendor that I walk you through that you can actually sell that stuff on your website and make money on it. So it's pretty cool. The discount is for all my courses, all full price, color, e-design, staging. Do you guys need the link again? Hopefully Scott would send that link to the courses page. You can look through the courses. I'm trying to see, I'm going to look for these questions. Yes, you can revisit and apply. Someone says, the timing's not right. That's fine. Just stay in touch with me. I do these workshops every, so often. Is e-design needed for staging? No, Melissa, e-design is actually the perfect add-on to staging. So people get into staging and then they say, gosh, if you love what I did in your home, here's a design plan, or here's what I can do in your move-in home, because people want to spend on their new home. The recommended order to take my course is Carrie, Staging and Redesign, my 3-week course, $950. That is going to give you all the confidence in the world. Every one of these stories I shared, I think they started with that course, gives you all the confidence to pursue, because that's usually the problem I run into people. They just don't have that foundation and confidence. Good. Yeah. Gloria, thank you. Somebody said, does any of the courses list for wall design? Wall design. Wallpaper colors. Yeah, it goes. There's a ton. I have a black book, my course of vendors that give discounts to you, but I also have a ton of how-to where we walk through. In fact, I just did a staging day how-to last month with my sister where we walked through exactly how we tackled, this was a vacant home. So we do those on the regular too, and they're fun. They're private for members only. Time commitment. Good question. You have kids. So it's self-paced. It's online. I would say 4 hours a day should get you through in 3 weeks. But remember, you're creating a foundational successful business. So I say give yourself 3 months if you need. And what I tell people, it's really interesting. This time of year seems to really be the best time for people, strangely, to start, because they go through it, kind of firing through it during the holidays. They got a little bit of time. Other businesses may be slow for them. Helen, the staging and design course is $950. If you click on that link just right above that Scott gave you, you'll see all the pricing. But this is a great time of year to do it, because then by the time January rolls around, they're putting the finishing touches on, and then goal setting and the spring real estate season is here, and it's hot, hot, hot. That's usually when stagers are very, very busy. Oh, someone's going to be working with their daughter. Oh my gosh, I love the mother-daughter teams. They're great. So we actually have a 50% discount to partnerships. So the first member pays $950, and then if you bring on an employee, because we have a lot of our people who are actually hiring people who they want to go through our course, that person is only $499, the employees, or partners. So we encourage the partnerships. Those are great. Yes, I teach a ton. Diana, I have every day of those 21 days, I have a design module that walks you through the art of design room by room. So it's a balance as you're going through the training of business and design, which I find is the perfect balance. Now, I don't assume that you're going to know, because you need to also know how to explain the art of what you're doing to clients while you're doing it. And I find that when you use my verbiage and through all my design modules, you're explaining, I give a lot of analogies and stories. It really helps your clients to understand what you're doing. Thank you. Which I've ordered the staging course, Stephanie. She's been working on houses. That's okay. Believe me, I get it. Just get to it when you can get to it. It's self-paced. The furniture that you use, surely most people start off, if it's about vacant homes, they work with a furniture rental company. And in my training, I walk you through, connecting with that furniture rental company for the big pieces. And that's really the easiest way to start. Some of my long-term veterans, they still use furniture rental for some of the big pieces. They don't want to have a big warehouse. That's fine. Yes, Tiffany, the course is designed to start the moment you sign up. If you sign up right now, you get straight in. You have all access to everything. I don't hold anything back. I don't drip it. It is all for you. And yes, I walk people through how you do social media. I walk you through websites. My marketing training is a whole week. So it's a lot. I give you all the resources. Yes, I recommend design apps. I can tell you what design apps. I recommend design files, Sue. That's how I create all my design boards. Do you know anyone who will hire to train? Hire to train. Surely some people are maybe looking for a job. I always say the best way to get a job is get trained, get some certification training. And believe it or not, even in my Stagers Connect group, I have people who are like, hey, I need help with this, or are you in my area to help with this? So it's kind of an easier way to connect with somebody who's a fellow person that's trained. My network is large. Thousands of people have gone through my training. So it's a pretty tight group, and they respect each other's backgrounds and training. Thank you. Thank you. Top niches, Mickey. I would say the best niches are the ones that you love, that fit you. And that's the great thing. I have people that do commercial design. I have people that do just like spa design. Like they not only commercial design, they zero in on one type of, I mean, Rob is probably going to be the holiday bank decorator in like the entire state before you know it. You just never know, but follow your heart with it, most importantly, and start flexing that creative design muscle. Oh my gosh, you guys were great. I hope that helped. Feng Shui. You know what? I have a Feng Shui module in my training. I didn't train it myself. Actually, one of my long time good friends who's a Feng Shui master wrote that module. She's amazing. So I actually give you tons of information on that, especially for staging. Yes, you can buy one course and then just add the others when you're ready. The staging and redesign is probably the best place to start. Job training, trust me, you will not be afraid. The fear will be gone. When anyone once they get through my training, they're confident. So guess what your job training will be? On the job. You'll get that call and you'll be ready to help them out. You'll be ready to tackle it, I promise you. The bundle, Melissa, to save money is right now till Friday at midnight. If you buy all 3 of my courses, you save $150. And I'll tell you, I never discount lower than that. I never do. I rarely even discount my courses, except for these workshops. The difference between staging and redesign, Kate. Staging is designing for people who are selling their home. Redesign is designing for people who are living in their home. It's kind of one-day redesign. We use what they have. We go in, we redo a couple rooms in their home. We go shopping for them to get them more things to dial in, and then just totally HGTV reveal. That's what redesign is. It's kind of fun, right? It's use what you have decorating. And I teach both in that training because usually when you do a great staging job, someone wants you to go into their new home. And this is why it's such a viral business. All right, you guys were wonderful. I so appreciate you being here. I'm going to send you an email with the replay and the coupon and the links and also some follow-ups. That's just what I do. Thank you for the encouragement. You guys encourage me. If you want more information, design information, I have so much design how-to on my blog too. So go to homestagingresource.com. There's a ton of stuff. Some of the I have success stories every month. I do best of the best awards, and each time we honor 15 usually people every month and their work. We showcase their work, and each one of their stories is encouraging. I just pulled a handful here, but you won't believe it when you read some of those. Just read every month this year. I realized last week I showcased over 50 stagers' work, not just on my blog, but also sending National Association of Realtors next month. So I love it. I love sharing your work and sharing the stories. I'm glad you're feeling less fearful. That's very normal, Kathy. But fear holds you back. And fear is false. Once you learn, you won't be fearful. Thank you, guys. All right. Well, love you all. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for coming. Hopefully I'll see you in my next workshop, and I'll keep you posted as to when that is. Do not unsubscribe because then you won't hear about it. Thank you, guys. Love you all. Take care.